Hey everyone, I'm Chris Solomon from Board Game Breakdown. Glad that you could come visit us on our next video here, where we are going to be looking at the game Parks. So this was released in 2019. It has an expansion that we're also doing a video on soon, and that is called Nightfall, and then they just released the announcement of another expansion coming out in the next couple months. So I want to give a shout out real quick to my sister-in-law, Nicole. She was checking out the website, looking at some of the reviews. She stumbled across this written review, and she said, hey, that looks pretty interesting, but I'm not really a board gamer. Maybe you can do one of the videos on it. And so I said, okay, we'll do a video. We'll do the setup, rules, playthrough, a couple of rounds, and then she can take that. We'll let her borrow the game and see what she thinks about it. So hopefully, Nicole, when you watch this, it'll all make sense and you'll enjoy the playthrough here. So you might have seen this game in stores. I think you can actually probably pick it up at Target, if not Walmart, Barnes & Noble, places like that. It's gotten a lot of attention because of the beautiful artwork. It uses this project called the 59 Parks, where artists were commissioned to do artwork for all the national parks. You can see there these nice tarot-sized cards. Love that. Animal meeples. Just a really good production, and it's a really nice, easy, casual, lightweight game that you can play solo or multiplayer, but it has enough depth to turn the gears in your brain, and it's just a fun time. So I hope you enjoy the game, playing it as much as we do. Real quick before we move on, I want to ask you to please subscribe on the YouTube channel so that you are made aware of every time a new video comes up. Also, check us out on our website, boardgamebreakdown.com. Put a lot of written reviews up there. And I do want to notify you, we don't just review like the standard game. We really like to go out and find different variants that might be posted on Board Game Geek or other variants on other websites, specifically solo variants. So I know for me, we have 3 children and we can't always find time to get a group together, or my wife and I don't have time to play together all the time. And so I've started to do some solo gaming, but I don't want to start a whole new collection of solo games. So I want to look through the internet, look through Board Game Geek, and I like to find user-made variants to turn my games into solo games. So we do kind of concentrate on the text reviews there on the website for that. So if that interests you, go there. We can also be found on Instagram at board.game.breakdown. We post pictures of upcoming projects we're working on, and we'd love to comment and talk to you on any of those social media sites, down on the YouTube channels. Drop us a line on our email. You can find that on the website. We just really like to get in touch with the board gaming community. So again, thanks for watching. Remember to subscribe. Well, let's get started with Parks. All right, so we're going to start the setup of a multiplayer Parks game. And just a heads up, since this is a wildlife themed game, you might get to hear some of my dogs in the background. One of them might sound like he's tap dancing on the floor. That's Isaac, and the other one, who will probably be barking soon, will be Penny. But I will try my best to edit those out. But they want to take part in this review, as they love being in the outdoors, and this is a perfect game for that theme. So you see the beautiful artwork here. It's from this 59 Parks project where artists were commissioned to do artwork for each of the national parks. And then the game uses that artwork on the cards. So we'll open this up. Here's the rule book. I won't really spend any time with that. It's a really great rule book. It explains everything really well. It shouldn't have any problems with it. But we don't need to do anything with that. And right off the bat, you'll see some really nice little trays. I think these are from game trays, but they come with the game. This is standard. It's not something I paid extra for. So you get 2 of them. They fit all your little resources, and we'll talk about those obviously when we start doing the how-to. But I really like these right off the bat. Keeps everything organized and nice. We'll set those to the side. You got your board, put that right there. And then you can see this really nice insert in here. I really like when games manufacturers decide to put some time and effort into the insert. It just makes everything nice and neat and organized to put away when you're done. I think it's really increases the quality of life as you're playing, and so I'm really stoked for the fact that this game comes with all that. So we are going to move this to the side so I can start putting out the pieces. And I will note while I'm getting the board out that this is a setup for a multiplayer game. So I'm going to set it up as if I have two people playing. It does come with a solo variant that I do really like. But if you want more information on that, you can go to our website, boardgamebreakdown.com, and see the written review. And there I talk a lot more about how the solo variant works. So visit that to learn more about the solo version. Here we're going to set up a two-player game. All right, so here's the main board. This is really going to hold all of our cards that we're playing with. It kind of creates a market. So let's just go ahead and get out the best component right off the bat, and these are these part cards. So this is the first game I ever got that had these tarot size cards, and they are wonderful. And you'll see back here all that great artwork I was talking about. So each of these is for a certain national park. So get it a little closer for you. So here's Glacier Bay. It's really nice whale. Has some like flavor text about the park itself, where it's at. So let's look at another one. Big Bend National Park. So I don't know if every card is by a different artist, but there are a lot of artists involved with this project. So you see a lot of variety of styles, colors. It just really is a pleasure to play with such an awesome deck of artwork. So you're going to put 3 of these out to start like that. And I'm not going to talk about the symbols just yet. We'll talk about that when we actually get to the how to play section. But that's what we want to do, get our part cards out there to start with. Next, you have a couple other decks that you're going to want to get out. So for these spots you see lining up on the bottom here, we are going to have the gear deck. And yes, I shuffle my cards as if I'm using playing cards. I'm sorry, that probably upset some people. I don't sleeve them. It's a game. I bought it to play. I'm okay shuffling it like that. So you're going to also put out 3 of these. And the gear is kind of like cards you can buy, items that you'll hold on to the rest of the game. And they'll give you some bonuses. Some are much better than others. It's not my favorite part of the game, but it's fine. All right, we got 2 more to do here. Actually, I'm sorry, 3 more, but 2 more for the actual board. So the board up here, we're going to have our canteens. That's going to go here. So that's a little bit like gear, but you're going to get the one to start the game free, and it's basically an extra action. You can put water, drop on it, and do the action. So next deck we have here, have this little emblem like this on it. This is for the weather cards. So we'll just shuffle those up and they will go right here. Those are going to flip out each round, have a new one that impacts the trail that we are playing on. And then lastly, we have these year-end cards. So the rule book says to pass out 2 to each player, and then they select 1 to use. Personally, I like to just keep both of them and have them be options because this is probably my least favorite part of this game. They're not very helpful. So I'd rather have 2. So we have some more options We'll flip those over in a second when we start playing. But that handles the cards. Next, you're going to pull out a couple tiles. So here, this is the starting tile for your trail, so the trail head. And then you also have the trail end. This is two-sided. One side's for solo. One side that has the little tent right here is for multiplayer. So we'll put that there. And then you're going to get out all the trail pieces. So these are the backs, these are the fronts. So I will call out that there's this one that's got 4+ on it right there. So unless you're playing with 4 or 5 people, you're not going to need that one. So I'm going to put that back in the box. Then you're also going to notice that the other ones have 2 different symbols. So there's ones that have this little tent with a star. There's ones that just have the tent. So what we're going to do is we're going to separate these out. So I'm just going to quickly make these 2 piles. So the ones with the stars, I'm going to shuffle and then just sit them over here face down. The ones without the stars, I'm going to shuffle. I'm now going to take one of the special ones that had the stars on it, and I'm going to shuffle it in. And this is going to make our starting trail. So these are going to go in order. So the trail is going to change every round. You're going to add in a new one of those special trail pieces each time. So the trail gets a little longer. The round is extended and gives you a little more actions to play. All right, how to get that in focus. All right, so there's our starting trail. Then we basically need to get out which people we're going to be. So there is these little hikers, campers, whatever you want to call them. So we'll do this one over here will be green, and we'll play against purple. So I'll put the purple guys. So everyone goes on the trail start here. Then you also have campfire tiles in matching colors. So the green one's going to go over in front of the green player. The purple one's going to go over in front of that player. You'll also see these are double-sided. We'll talk about that in the rules. Right now it just needs to stay on the lighted side. You have a camera tile. It's going to go up there until someone wins it. And then you have the starter token. So we're going to take this. We're just going to say that this guy is going to be the starter. And we're going to open up our little trays here. Put those like that. And we are ready to play. Alright, so welcome back. You see we've got the game set up from the first part. Now we're going to quickly go over a few rules, then we'll get through the playthrough. There aren't many rules to this game. It's very simple, easy to pick up. So first, let's just talk about how this trail works. So when it's your turn, you are going to pick up one of your people, and instead of having a die or something like that to determine how many spaces you can move any amount of spaces you want. The rule is you cannot move backwards. So if you want to get this guy and move him right to there because you wanted what was on that, you can go for it. Now, there might be a chance that this guy's here and you would like to go there with him. The way you do that is you take this fancy 2-sided campfire and you can flip it over and exhaust it. That basically says you can no longer share a spot with another person until you get a hiker to the trail end. Let's say this guy eventually gets to the trail end. Your campfire then is relit, allowing you to share a spot for a second time that round. the end of each round, this also flips over. So you basically get to use it at least once a round, if not more. So that's how that works. When you move your hiker to these spots, you're going to do what they say. And most of them are going to be just grab up their resources. So we talked about this. So you've got water, mountains, stars, forest, trees, whatever, and then a little set of different animal meeples. Pretty cool. They're all unique. And that acts as a wild. So you can use that for anything. So when you go here, you would pick up 2 stars. There are some extra spaces, so I'll explain those as they come out. So for example, this one here, get it closer for you. So what that states is you can pay a water and you can copy a spot that any other hiker is on. It could be your hiker or an opponent's hiker. And then this one here allows you to either get a new canteen, or you can get the camera, which is up there, and that's going to allow you to take photographs. You can turn in 2 resources for a photograph at that point in time. These are the photographs. They count as 1 victory point at the end of the game. Also, the camera allows you at the end of the round to take an additional photograph that nobody else is allowed to take and only pay 1 resource for that. So that's how those work. As we go through the playthrough, I'll talk about the other couple that come out that might not be as intuitive as these. Other rules. So we know how to move down this track. So what are all these cards about? All right, so when you get to the end of this, there are 3 spots that you have to pick from. 3 spots are this top one, says park, and then has the triangle. So only 1 person can land on this side over here. It's the first person to take this slot, and they're going to get the first player marker on the next round. There are going to be multiple people on this side, and what that is reserving a park card. So you're allowed to take one of those 3 up there and reserve it. So you don't have the points yet. You don't have to pay for it yet, but you get to put it in kind of like your bank so nobody else can get it. Because you'll notice when we start playing that you're going to be gunning for certain parks that might help you with your goals over here. And so maybe you don't have the resources to buy them, but you could reserve them. So that's what this top spot does. The second row allows you to buy these gear cards. And the gear cards cost as many stars as in this top right hand corner. So right there. And then this is the action. So like if you own the compass, all parks cost 2 stars less to visit them. You'll see if you're the first person here, you get a discount of 1 star. And then if you go there, you just have to buy them at its regular cost. Then the last spot here is to actually visit a park. So what that means is to pay the amounts that you see on the bottom of these cards and take the card, and then it goes into your little tableau over there to be able to count the points at the end of the game. And the points are listed here on the left side. Or you can buy a card that you've reserved. So that little bank I was telling you about, you could take one of those cards, which when you buy them, you normally turn them sideways to show that you have not actually paid for it. You could use that bottom spot, pay this cost, flip it over, and put it in your stack or tableau or whatever you want to call it. Some other rules. Each person is going to start with a canteen. You'll see that it's got this big water droplet icon on it. So that means when you get a water droplet, you can then place it here and trigger this action. And at the end of the round, the water goes back into the bank and you can use it again. So you can only use it once a round unless you get some sort of special card that allows you to take the water off. But the key with that is you have to use the water droplet as soon as you get it. You can't get the water droplet, move some more down the trail, and then say, oh man, I really want to go do that. So as soon as you went here and picked up 2 waters, if you want to trigger the canteen, you got to use it right then. I think that's really all the rules. The only other thing that we're going to see affect anything are these weather cards. So we're going to go ahead and flip over this first one. And there's a couple of things on it. So this season, which is basically this round, all parks cost 1 less star to visit. So every park that we go and actually buy is going to cost 1 less star. And then down here in the right-hand corner, you're going to see a little legend of stars and water. It's always going to be stars and water. And what we're going to do is we're going to take, and in that same pattern, we're going to put them out on the board. And you're always going to start on the second from the trailhead, and you're going to just create that little pattern. So star, water, star, and then we'll start again with star, water, and then since we're out of spaces, we're done with that. So what's going to happen is as you move down the trail, when you get here, the first person to get here not only gets these 2 waters, they're going to pick up that water as well. So again, these are always going to be waters or stars. None of the other resources are out there. These season cards or weather cards, whatever you want to call them, they're going to be a couple of different things. Sometimes they tell you to put at the beginning of the round like a tree on each of those, so whoever buys the tree buys that park, they're going to get that additional tree. So there's a few things to kind of keep up with. I will mention that while I really like this, I feel like the effect sometimes is forgotten during the round. Since you're going to end up seeing 4 of them throughout the game, it is easy to kind of forget which one you're doing. So that's just a heads up. If I'm playing this game a lot, you might want to figure out a way to make sure you and your friends don't forget that. All right, so that is really all the rules. If any more come up while I'm playing, we'll discuss those. And as new trails come out in the game, any that have some weird symbols on them or whatever, I will explain that at that point. All right, so let's get this game started. All right, so we've set the game up. We know the rules, so let's get playing. I'll probably go through 2 rounds, playing back and forth between the 2 players. I think that'll give you plenty of chances to see how the game works, answer any questions that anyone might have. So to start out, I'm going to look at our year-end cards here real quick. Like I said, the rules say to pick one. I like to play with both of them, but it's whatever. So this one is called Year of the Sun, and so it gives us 2 different, well, not really different, but 2 options here. So if we have 6, I guess I've been calling those stars, but they call them suns here, it looks like. So we're going to keep with stars, though. So 6 stars on visited parks, and you take 3 photographs, and you get 2 points. If you have 10 stars on visited parks and take 5 photographs, you get 3 points. So that would be one of those that I was saying is going to be pretty tough. You don't really get any points for it. 2 and 3 points is not a lot in this game. That's like 1 park. Our other option here is visit 5 parks with stars, get 2, visit 7 parks with stars, get 3. So, all right, whatever. I will mention that I am doing a review of the Nightfall expansion for parks. That will be up shortly, and I will give you a spoiler that they come with new year-end cards, and they are way better, and they really fix my problems with the year-end cards. But we'll go into that when I get to that video. So here's one: visit 6 parks with mountains, 2 points, 8 parks with mountains, 3 points, 6 parks with trees, 2 points, 8 parks with trees, 3 points. All right, so hey, we know what they are. Probably not even going to really affect how I play this game, but just so you are aware of what's going on with that. So let's remember parks cost 1 less star to visit. All right, so green player is going to go first. So green player is going to be over here. Purple player is over here. All right, so remember you can go as many as you want down the track. If you're looking up here at the cards, you can see the cost. So I'll just jump out here and take 2 stars right off the bat. Stars are always good for gear. Anything else we want to try? All right, and then that's the turn. So purple. So you'll notice I talked about this. So I have no water, so that's a really bad spot for that, because if it was down here further, you might be able to get a water and trigger it, but it's kind of too early on in the trail to make too much of a difference. So what purple's going to do is they're going to hop over here, and they're going to get the weather token, and then they're also going to trigger that. And so because I just got the waters, I can take the water and I can place it in my canteen, and then I can trigger this. So I'll get 2 stars there. So 4 resources all together at the end of that turn. All right, so back to green. Now I can move the starter guy, or I can bring this guy out. It doesn't really matter. It just depends on what I'm kind of going for. So I see a lot of mountains on those park cards, and the mountains are relatively hard to come by because there's typically only this one spot for them. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go there and take a star and the mountain. All right, so purple's go. So now purple has some waters now. And like I said, the mountains are hard to come by. Now I could go there with purple and flip over my campfire because I'd be sharing a space. But what I'm going to do is take purple, move him here, take the star, and then I'm going to pay a water, since that says water down there, and I can duplicate anywhere that somebody's at. So I'm going to duplicate the mountain and get a mountain. So in effect, I kind of just turn a water into a mountain. All right, so back to green. Another thing that's hard to come by is these trees. There's usually only one spot for the trees, so I'm going to go ahead there, put that down, and get me a tree. Purple's going to go there and get another mountain. So you'll see that green has 4 stars. And remember, parks cost 1 less star to visit. So I have enough to buy this. And I think I'm going to go and do that because purple player also has 3 stars. So at this point, I can move this guy straight to the end here, to the trail end, and that's going to cause me to pick one of these actions. I'm going to pick that bottom action, and I'm going to buy this park. So that park cost me 3 stars because I get to do 1 less, and it's 2 points at the end of the game. So I'll do 1, 2, 3, put that out. Now you get to immediately fill that spot up for the next person. All right, so now it's purple's turn. So purple is really liking that Mount Rainier National Park with the mountains. So purple's going to go there and use the campfire to share the spot and take a mountain. All right, so green wants to get some waters in here. Let's do that. Purple can kind of take their time because it doesn't look like green is going to steal the park out from underneath me. So let's just move there and go and get an extra tree for him. Now remember, the campfire is going to reset at the end of the round. So what I'll do is I'm going to go ahead and go there and use the campfire and get a green forest token there. All right, so purple this turn is going to go here and get this, and he's going to actually choose to get the camera so you can see how that works. So the camera is going to be in purple's possession over here. And right now he can pay 2 resources to take a picture. So suns aren't really needed all that much with the parks at the moment. So do that, get a picture. Again, that's 1 victory point at the end of the game. So sit that right there. All right, green's going to go ahead and move down here, and they're going to buy 1, 2, 3. This one, see that? 2 points. Put it in the pile. Flip over another one. That needs a lot of water. All right, so what's going to happen here is when there's only 1 hiker left on the trail, they're going to have to immediately move to the end. So they're both fairly close to the end, so it doesn't really matter. So what I'll do is I will go here with that guy, and I will pay my 3 mountains. 1, 2, 3. And take this for 3 points. Put it over there. Flip over the next one. And now this guy has to immediately move to the end. So you can see how that might impact it. Say he was further back, then he's going to basically lose out on all of these. He's got to go all the way to the end. So since there's nothing that he can buy right now, and there's no gear that's only at 1 sun, I'm going to go up here, and I'm going to steal this spot so that he becomes first player in the next round. And I'm going to reserve a card. So let's just grab this one since I've already got some waters. And this is going to go sideways in his pile so that he knows he has not bought it yet. And we're going to flip these over like that. All right, so that is the end of the round. So what do we do now? We go ahead and we flip over our campfires. If you have water in your canteen, you put it back. Flip over this campfire. This guy can buy a additional photo at the end of each round, and it's only $1. You'll see there. So, or 1 resource, maybe not $1. Yeah, let's just get rid of that. Let's get a new photo. There you go, buddy. Why the camera if you're not going to take photos? All right, so the gear we're going to take up and refill that slot. The parks, however, do not get refilled at the end of a round. They're going to stay there. We're going to move this weather, put it right there. We're going to move all of our guys back to the trailhead, and then we're going to pick up all of these tiles. And remember, we're going to take the top special tile and we're going to shuffle it in. That card is bothering me. I want them to be straight. Still not getting it straight. Whatever. All right, so now we're going to put out our tiles again. They'll be in a different order, obviously, unless somehow you really got lucky and put them, or unlucky, I guess, and put them in the exact same order. I don't know. All right, so here's our new tile. So let's just look at it real quick. So what that is telling you is when you land there, you can trade one of your resources for any other resource. You can do it twice. You cannot trade an animal or for an animal. I don't know why you want to trade an animal, but you would want to trade for an animal, but you cannot do that on that one. So that is what that space is all about. So we need to flip over our weather. So let's take a look at the weather card. All right, gear this round costs 1 less star, and then you'll see the little pattern is water, star, water, star, water, star. So we'll get our stuff over here. Remember, you don't start on this one, you start on the next one. So we'll do water, star. like that. Campfires are turned over. All right, so that's the setup, and we want to go ahead and get started. Remember, this player over here is first player because they took this spot at the end of the last round, so they will get to go first. And also remember that this card, which we reserve but we have not bought, needs a lot of water. So purple's just going to jump on out there and grab this so they can make sure to have that. So we're still looking at some mountains up there. Green player also has these 2 trees already. So we're going to do this. Take a star, take a mountain, and maybe we'll shoot for this one over here if we can come up with a different way to get a mountain. Alright, so purple is looking at this. It needs 2 forest and 4 water droplets. So he's got 4 water droplets. He has 1. He needs this one. So let's do this. Show you how this works. He can move here, take that sun, and then remember you can choose up to 2 resources to turn them into something else. So I'm going to take this water that I just got, and I'm going to turn it into a tree. Whoops, that's not a tree. That's a tree. All right, I could do that a second time, but I'm not going to. I'm going to leave it like that. All right, so this guy is going to skip all the way up here. He's going to take this water droplet, and he's immediately going to use it here to replicate a spot someone else is on. And I'm going to replicate this mountain. Put that there. All right, so looks like we really need trees. So purple's just going to hop on over there, take this, take another tree. That'll be helpful later on down the line. Let's do this. Let's go here and get a sun. And instead of taking the camera back, let's use this. So that's an additional canteen. So you just draw the top canteen and put it there. So now I have a canteen similar to this one that I can throw water on and get 2 stars. And then purple's just going to go ahead and hop down there and handle his business here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 2 trees. Plop those down in there. Grab this one. So Kenai Fjords. I'm going to say that's how you pronounce that. In Alaska. 4 points. So remember, he still has this, which needs 4. But since he reserved that, no one else can buy it. I wanted to go ahead and grab that card to make sure no one else got it, since it is 4 points. I think the top parks are only 5 points, so 4 points are quite a bit, so I want to go ahead and grab that. So Mr. Green here is going to go ahead and hit the end of the trail, and he's going to turn in 2 mountains and 2 greens, and take this one. What's this one? Theodore Roosevelt National Park. Put it over there. Flip out a new one. Oops, sorry about hitting the camera. Give you some whiplash. All right, purple's going to go there. Boom, get 2 more waters. So, green. There's no more weather tokens, so kind of stuck with just getting what's here. And these are all pretty expensive, so I don't know that I'm going to be able to buy a park. What I could do, let's do this. So let's go and take him and move him to the gear section. And because he moves right there, he gets a discount. And this also gives us a discount. So he gets to buy something for 2 less suns. So in effect, these 2 are basically free. And we're going to take this. I like the binoculars. It's pretty cool. So here, when you visit a spot with 2 waters, you may instead get a animal token, which remember the animal tokens are wilds. So we'll use that. So that would go over there. I get that the whole rest of the game. And the other thing that does is because he is the last hiker, he has to move all the way up to the front or the end. So he has to skip all of these things. That also makes it so he cannot buy any of the ones out there because he doesn't have the right resources. So he's not very happy about that. So he's going to go there. He gets to keep the player 1 token. And he's going to grab this one. But again, it's only reserved because he has not bought it yet. So that would be the end of that round. And we would do the same cleanup that we did. You would eventually, over the next 2 rounds, pull these 2 out. Let's just talk about them real quick. So this one allows you to either visit a park, basically buy a park, or buy gear. So I like this one a lot because it ends up out here in the middle. You can buy a park when you visit it, and then you can also still buy a park or visit a park when you move down there. So this one's really cool. And then this one basically allows you to trade in 1 resource for a wild animal token. So you'd mix 1 in for the 3rd round, play exactly like we did, mix the last one in for the other rounds. For scoring purposes at the end of the game, all of your cards here that you actually visited, you're going to count up. So that would be 8 points worth. My purple guy over here, he has 4 cards, but remember these 2 are sideways because he never visited them. So if they were still like that at the end of the game, he doesn't get to count those. So he would have these 7 points. And then you would check your cards against here and see if you actually hit any of these achievements, then you get the listed points there. And then photographs are 1 point. And then the start token, if I can pick it up, is a point at the end of the game. So you add all those up, see who wins. Extra resources in the game don't mean jack. So use them because they're not going to help you out. Gear doesn't help you at the end, just the things I listed out there. So that's basically how you play the game. It's very easy. It's lightweight. I think it's only like 1.5 rating on Board Game Geek. But I really like it. I like playing the solo version too. Again, I wrote up a little more information on that at the website if you want to check it out. But it's just a fun, casual game that you really don't have to put too much brain power into. Has really nice artwork, and on top of that, it has a really great expansion called Nightfall. So I'll be doing a video touching on the Nightfall portion, and honestly, any of my problems with this game, I feel like Nightfall fixes them. So if you like this, I would spend the 20 or 25 bucks to grab Nightfall with it. And they actually just released announcement of a new expansion coming out in, I believe, August of 2022. So not far away, and it's going to add some more like wildlife themed things to it. So if you're interested in this, if you like it, check out my other video for Nightfall that will be posted soon. Thank you for watching. Make sure to subscribe to the YouTube channel. Make sure to go to the website at boardgamebreakdown.com. We're also on Instagram at board.game.breakdown. So we'd love to hear feedback or comments at any of those different channels or social media sites. Love talking to people in the community. And if you have any sort of game that you would want us to review or talk about or write up on the website, take pictures of, whatever, maybe throw it out there. This is just a fun thing that we love doing, bringing information to other board gamers out there. So again, thank you for taking the time to watch, and I'll talk to you soon.